Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Journey Like Mine, Podcast with Purpose, Episode 10. I hope everyone's doing well this week. And for Live, Love, Learn reflections, I'm going to be focusing on my parents' love story. So let's get started. What did you live through this week? Well, today, January 20th, marks the wedding anniversary for my parents. My dad was 19 and my mom was 17. Wow, for me that feels extremely young. Sorry, but what do you really know at those ages? Personally, when I was that age, I was in university. Yes, I wanted to be in a relationship, but marriage is a whole other ballgame. In honor of their wedding anniversary, I will share with you how their love story began. My dad grew up in a poor family who lived in a small town in South Africa called Richmond. He was highly intelligent, learned Latin, loved Shakespeare, and wrote stories and poetries that, as of today, is in the museum of his hometown. One of his teachers even offered to take him to another town and have him educated, but my grandfather did not allow it, so my father, at 14 years old, had to leave school and support his family, and was robbed of his future. My mom came from a prominent family, the Khans. Her father was an imam, a priest, who helped build the community in Clarewood in the coastal town of Durban in South Africa. By the age of 13, my mom had traveled overseas, even living abroad with her parents for 2 years. But my grandfather did not believe in girls being educated, so she did not go to school and was also robbed of her future. Fast forward a few years later, my dad was visiting a relative while in their backyard, decided to look over the fence, and that is when he saw my mother. Now, my mom was very beautiful, and obviously, my dad was smitten, so he flirted with her. And of course, my mom at first ignored him. But from what my mom told me, she eventually caved in, and she too started having feelings for my dad. By this time, my mom had had multiple proposals from other prominent families for their sons. But for my grandfather, no one was good enough for his daughters. Eventually, my father got the guts and finally approached my grandfather for my mom's hand in marriage. Because in those days, you could not date, it was straight down the road to marriage. My grandfather immediately said no, but my mom was stubborn. When I mean stubborn, I now understand it because my daughter, Amina, who is the namesake of my mother, is extremely stubborn, just like her grandmother. So my grandfather caved in, and I'll tell you, I would too, as no one wants to deal with the stubbornness of Amina. But then challenges did not end there because my mom had the fairest cream colored skin, and my dad was dark skinned as the dead of night. So you can imagine all the insults my dad had to endure. I think in my mind, that was one of the catalysts to my parents' marital problems. My grandfather agreed to the marriage, but even though he was one of the richest men in the community, he gave my mother a wedding that was small, and according to her, it felt more like a funeral than a wedding. My mom did not really care, as in her mind, she had won. She got to marry my dad, but little did she know what was ahead of her. So on this day, January 20th, in the early 1960s, my parents were married. And that is why I am sitting here now sharing this with you, because of the young love of a poor but very intelligent boy, Ibrahim, and a young, rich, naive girl, Amina, who fell in love over the fence. So, what made me feel love? I feel love today because of my parents and the day they started their journey of love together. Mom and Dad, happy heavenly anniversary. Even though your marriage journey was a never ending storm, I saw at the tail end, when it was just the three of us at home, how much you both loved each other. You were truly heart, mind, body, and soul in love with each other. That is how I will remember you both today. The beautiful couple who were starting their lives together, finally away from the shadows of your families. So, what did I learn? I learned loving someone unconditionally means And with that, I learned what to do and what not to do. And even though there could be many storms in this journey of love, the calmness and light will be there, even at the end of a dark tunnel. Many people judge my mom as naive and too forgiving, but she loved my dad unconditionally. And even more than my dad, she loved us, her children, unconditionally as well. Each one of us in her own special way. So every year, I honor this day as the day that sparked my existence, even though I only appeared over 25 years later. There is more to the story, and I will tell it when I finally get down to writing the book in honor of my mom, Journey Like Mine. What is the lesson I can share with all of you today? I know most people in today's world think that love should come with all these conditions, and I agree, but those conditions should be positive, meaningful, and not detriment to anyone. So if you have that good unconditional love from someone, hold on to it and never let go. Because without love, we are just empty shells moving from one day to the next. Thank you for letting me share this special reflection today. And remember to live, love, learn for each blessed day on your journey in life. Thank you. Have a wonderful week ahead. Goodbye.